I've been labeled as the rock star of the art world. If I had to make a choice between the paintbrush and the drumstick, well, what I want to do is rock the art world. The fact that I paint a green circle and a red circle and get to have fun with it is amazing to me. I mean, I paint olives for a living. I'm the olive guy. I played in bands from the time I was 12 years old all the way up until I was in my, I would say, late 30s, and I still have to dabble in music. I've always loved music, and now I get to hang out with real rock stars and entertainers. And many of my closest friends are musicians and rock stars who play in these huge arenas, and it is so much fun. I've been coming to Vegas since I was really young. The reason you see a lot of gambling themes in my painting is because of that early influence of Vegas. And I remember as a kid, we didn't have anything. So when I got to draw, it was on paper sacks, the ones we got from the grocery store, and on the corners of newspapers. The journey as an artist has been quite an incredible one. I remember going to a gallery and having 2 children and saying, if I don't sell something tonight, I literally do not get to eat this week. And I remember schlepping my stuff on the side of the road and thinking to myself, you know what? Nobody knows that this car I'm standing next to is actually where I'm living right now. This is what has kept me grounded. I never forget that. The most important thing I could tell you that I do with my life is my philanthropy. And they're incredible foundations I work with. My art is the vehicle that takes me to a place where I can do something. If you know anything about me, you know that my paintings aren't just thrown together. There's a lot of thought goes into it. Besides all the goofy, math, nerdy stuff, I like to hide things in the painting. I like paintings that make you think a little bit. The more you delve into the painting, the deeper you get in it, the more things you'll find. It's epic to me to think that, going from just coloring in coloring books, trying to, draw outside of the lines, to now having over 4,000 products with my images on it. Everything from surfboards to poker chip sets, watches, bar taps. It's crazy, and I'm loving every minute of it.
Howdy folks, I'm Zedekiah Morse. I'm a bush pilot, aerial photographer, and explorer. I film wilderness landscapes from a bush plane. Most people see the Earth from either down on the surface or scooting along in a jet airliner at a very high altitude. I seek out that special zone where eagles fly for awe-inspiring views people rarely see. Are you aware that 47% of the United States is completely unpopulated? Not a soul? That's staggering.
We're surrounded by wilderness areas, yet most people don't even know these places exist.
My goal is to change this. to awaken something that resonates deep within everyone: a love of nature. I want you to join me on a journey to experience fleeting moments of time from a perspective reserved for those unafraid of adventure. To see visions of Earth unchanged since ancient times. Ours is a world full of wondrous places to explore, hidden secrets from a land steeped in timeless history. These are the sacred ancestral homelands of First Nation tribes going back through time. Their spirits are strong in the rocks and trees. The mountains still call their names in the dimming light of dusk. And as the sun sets to begin afresh, we will continue our journey to experience these inspirational discoveries.
He is the #1 best-selling artist in the world today.
Guy's #1 selling artist in America right now. He came to me to get tattooed. That trips me out.
You put a paintbrush in this guy's hand, and he's insane. His style of painting is so unique. There's nobody out there doing anything like what Michael does.
They call him the rock star of the art world. Growing up, Michael Goddard idolized Ozzy. Now, his paintings hang in the Osborne home. You might recognize the lovable Corky olives, martini glasses, and villainous corks, all central characters in a Goddard piece. However, each individual painting actually tells its own story. In the genre comedy, his characters mirror our lives, and the stories put a smile on your face. He calls it happy art. A framed photo sent to him by troops in Afghanistan hangs in his home. Soldiers tagged a piece of blown-up artillery with a Goddard-like olive figure. He says for them, it was a brief escape from a brutal reality of war. Goddard uses his gift and good fortunes to give back in a big way. He donates to MDA, AIDS foundations, homeless shelters, animal causes, and cancer societies, including the Paige Goddard Foundation, which was established to help fund cancer research, a disease that ultimately took his young daughter Paige's life. He says that is what gives his art meaning.
The 68-year-old was diagnosed with terminal cancer a year and a half ago and turned to painting to help relieve his pain. Well, best-selling artist and Las Vegas resident Michael Goddard heard about Joe's story and arranged for the two to put on an exhibit at the Artful Home inside the Galleria at sunset.
As a matter of fact, I don't think words describe it.
You're not only buying something that is a work of art, but that money is going to save somebody's life.
By you giving, you will receive something good back. That's my philosophy, and that's always going to be my philosophy.
I think Michael has that same kind of contemporary feel that Warhol had in his time.
You know, when you see like he has the thug ones and the olives are wearing all the, you know, all the bling. It's just some funny stuff. It's great.
He's one of the few artists probably in history that will be appreciated for what he does while he's alive.
The Boneyard model, I teamed up with one of my best friends, Michael Goddard, and I've always loved his work. It's something that me and Michael are very proud of, and we had a lot of fun putting it together. We're really excited about this design. I love this model.
It's not about just making another pretty picture, but it's about coming up with something that is bold and different. And Michael's done that for sure.
It's just a really cool play on life, and the fact that it's all done, you know, sort of in the bar atmosphere with martinis and olives, and you know, just sort of that fun atmosphere.
I think the best thing about any kind of artist, a musician or somebody who paints or sculpts,
the best thing any artist could have is having an identity and having something when you see it or you hear it, you know exactly who did it, you know, and whenever you see a Goddard painting, you know right off the bat that it is Goddard.
Hi, it's Carrot Top. Just finished one of my masterpieces. What happens is I do all the painting, and Michael comes in and he just signs it. Not that hard. But I think I might just take this one. I don't think he's going to know.
See the beauty against the amount of detail and work and craftsmanship that went into this is really inspiring. But I love the balance between masculine and feminine and the play on light and use of color. It's beautiful.
It was naughty, but at the same time there was depth about it, and just really getting information about how the artwork was put together and the construction and the effort and the passion that was put into it. It translates when you're looking at the pieces.
After seeing it, my impression have changed. In the beginning, you think of guns as an evil thing, but in the end, I think it's more as an art. They're so beautifully made. They have a history behind them.
I think that it opens the mind to seeing things in a new way, and that's always a good thing, no matter what it is. And I see the weapons as what they are, as industrial works of art and sculptures and incredible machines. What I also think is so strong about the pieces is that they're very bold and very strong, but yet so detailed and gentle at the same time, and that's really amazing.
Buried deep inside of me.
RockStars, Rebels, and Rogues was derived from 3 different subject styles that kind of developed at the beginning of this thing. The RockStars was very natural. It is what I do. Music was my muse. However, there's a lot of people that painted RockStars. It was overdone. My methodology or my theory coming into this was I wanted to take a rock star portrait and do it a little different. For the most part, a lot of artists like to take a famous photo and they transpose it on a canvas, and some of it's great. Some of my favorite artists do that. I wanted my style to be able to someone walk in the room and say, hey, is that a stick man? And in order to do that, I had to come up with a style. What I came up with was, since I was a realist artist, my subject would always be realism, of course. But the backgrounds gave me some opportunity to explore other disciplines. If you look at a lot of my backgrounds, you'll see some street art, some pop art, some abstract, impressionism, expressionism, stuff like that. So that's where I tried to separate myself from some of the other icon artists or rock star portrait artists. The rebel portion of my portfolio basically stemmed from commissions. People liked the icons I was doing with the Rockstar stuff and approached me, and maybe weren't so much into music. A lot of them I steered clear of. I try not to do art purely for financial gain. I gotta feel it. But there were some that came across that I was very interested in, because being a rock star is almost a state of mind. You can be a rock star of many different things. It transforms into film and fashion and a lot of different things. So some of these commissions came in, coming up, and every once in a while one would intrigue me. Ones like Einstein, Edward Scissorhands with Johnny Depp, which everyone knows is pretty much a rock star no matter what he does. The Godfather, stuff like that. Mike Tyson, guys that were just rock stars of whatever they did. And so that small series kind of filled that niche there. The Rogue series has probably grown to be my favorite series. It's kind of a catch-all. These are the ones that are still very much music-based, but definitely look at it from a different angle. Instead of just a rock icon portrait style, this is the area where I'll look into doing some instrumental stuff where it's just close-up of instruments, kind of a finer art looking pieces that you would find maybe in a dining room, a living room, something like that. It's also the area where I'll explore some double entendres and some metaphors and musical gestures and some things that are very much rock and roll, very much music based, but not so much just an in-your-face photo of an artist.
Buried deep inside of me. I was born to fly.